Hi, I'm Justin Tippett from Ac3TV, and we're joined again by Greg Tanna, Managing Director of Tanna Partners. Greg, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks, Justin.
Always a pleasure to have you on board. So, Greg, what I really want to know, what are some of the macro trends that you observed throughout 2011?
Well, it's still about stripping costs out of the enterprise. No question mark about it. Post the GFC, everyone's still struggling, and there's still the lurgies out there that might present themselves next year. So, enterprise, all they want to do is strip the costs out any way they can, whilst improving service levels and profitability and sales. So, how do you do that? The customer contact centre is the perfect vehicle to do that. And so that's given rise especially to that workforce optimisation discipline which we've spoken about before.
Yes.
Which does all the quality monitoring, forecasting, scheduling, but those people who can strip 20, 30 FTE, millions of dollars off the bottom line, it seems pretty quickly, they're in huge demand. Also with social media, we keep talking about that. What does that mean? What is it?
So is it really having an impact?
Yeah, depending on what you define as being social media. I mean, the push towards self-service technologies, social technologies, for want of a better description, that's helping to reduce the costs that we talked about before, while improving.
So it's real social media, like I guess when we say social media, we're talking Facebook, Twitter, and that sort of stuff. Is that really growing, or is it the other self-service stuff that the growth's in?
My exposure is probably more on the latter. It seems to be a little bit glamorous still, the social media, quote unquote side of things.
Yep.
I think the reality, as far as we're seeing, is self-service technologies, voice biometrics, workforce optimisation. That's what the CEOs are talking about in terms of stripping the costs out of the enterprise.
Yep. Okay. So I guess how have all those things that you just mentioned, how are they impacting on the executive recruitment market?
Well, I still maintain that it's very exciting. It's a great opportunity for the customer contact industry. If you're clever enough to reinvent yourself and direct your activities, direct your career towards the disciplines of workforce optimisation, which we just spoke about, technology, massive, that's only growing because of the push towards cloud-based solutions as well. That seems to be more flavour of the month than it was a year or two ago. That's really getting good take-up. Now the security issues seem to have been addressed. Yep. So that's squishing the sales cycle, for want of a better word. And then that provides a lot more opportunities for enterprise solution sales executives who can earn up to $250,000, $300,000 a year if they're good enough, as well as key account managers, people who can go and penetrate a Westpac or a CBA, own that account and make sure that anything that moves gets directed towards a certain vendor systems integration type solution.
Sure, okay. So did 2011 throw up any surprises that you weren't expecting?
Apart from being invited back on Ac3TV, I think just maybe I shouldn't be so surprised, but the resilience of the Australian economy, the capacity for Australians to get up there, roll the sleeves up, including the customer contact industry. I mean, you look at our stats, we're still only just over 5% unemployment. We've still got high interest rates, we've got a lot of leverage there, there's a lot of confidence there, just despite all of this gloom and doom hovering around. I think just our capacity to get and roll the sleeves up and get on with it is fantastic.
Yeah, that true digger spirit's still alive and well, isn't it?
Yep.
So recruitment aside, you're an astute observer of the industry. You're across everything. So I guess
who have you been speaking to?
I have people that I know. This Ac3TV, it does things for me. What do you think next year's going to throw up for the industry?
We haven't really talked about the BPO industry. I think that's really coming of age. The BPO. I just came back from a conference in the Philippines, an international outsourcing summit. And the capacity for BPOs to reinvent themselves should not be underestimated. And it's not just about stripping costs out and doing low-cost destination, because labour arbitrage is not so much the decision anymore, because they've got their own inflationary pressures, they've got labour shortages. So it's all about providing multiple services, having multi-level relationships with the enterprise, almost becoming part of the fabric of a company, and helping them to leverage new social technologies, helping them to supply new demands for new products and services very quickly, quicker, faster, cheaper. That's what it's all about. Yep.
So do you think there's a push for Australian organisations to bring stuff back onshore, or are you still seeing that push, and maybe for the lower tiered valued customers that sort of offshore those ones? How are you seeing it play out?
The back office seems to be going offshore. If you do the intelligent business process mapping in the back end, that there seems to be a logical it seems to have a lot of logic to offshore a lot of that work. But voice, I've got some pretty firm opinions about where the voice market's going to end up. I mean, it's $41,000 to house an agent in Australia, it's $5,000 to house an agent in the Philippines. But they're non-complex voice transactions as a general statement, and $5,000 a year is still a very expensive way to manage a voice interaction by comparison to what we're seeing out there now, the voice biometrics, and if you do all the intelligent business process mapping, it takes away the need for that call in the first instance. So I think high value, high complex voice transactions will remain in the host country, and maybe back office we're seeing, offshoring.
Yep, I think you're on the money. We're nearly at the end of the year, so I guess it's time to say have a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year, and of course for all the Tanna customers or potential customers out there, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Enjoy it. We all work too hard. We're all overworked and underpaid, so that's fine. Enjoy the time down, and look forward to speaking with everyone in the new year.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for your time again tonight on AC3TV.
It's a pleasure.